Thank you to everybody who asked me questions on my Instagram story earlier today. If you do want to go and follow me, footy.adventures on Instagram. Less of the rambling, straight into the questions. First off, the Peakies, Peaky Bandsiders from Northern Ireland. Have you any plans to further develop / evolve your content? I have content ideas all the time. There's a few barriers with some of them, like in terms of like the videos that I want to film, like they might be really far away, or it might involve me having to get a new car, or just certain things like that if I could sort certain barriers to them, 100% I would do. I'm really happy making the content I'm making right now, but obviously you have to always evolve on YouTube and keep things fresh and keep things new. That is half the battle for me, is coming up with like unique video ideas and titles, etc. But yeah, always thinking of new ideas to develop and evolve my content, like you say. So yeah, loads of ideas in here in the back of my mind that one day I'm sure I will act upon. What country is highest on your bucket list right now? So I've worn this. This is my Thai BG Pathum shirt. BG Pathum United, they are from Bangkok. And I've also got PAOK behind me just to show a couple of the random clubs I've been to. Down the years, what country is highest on my bucket list? It's hard to say now, because I think this year alone in 2023, I think I've made videos in about 18 different countries. But yeah, I'd probably want to do more in the Americas and Asia. If the budget was unlimited, if there's any sponsors watching, then please give me an unlimited budget. There's loads of countries I'd love to go to. The Philippines, I've never been there. I got a lot of requests to go there when I actually went to Bangkok and Thailand more recently. I'd like to do more in Malaysia and Indonesia, so Southeast Asia. I absolutely love it out there. I've been many times. And I'd also like to do more in the Americas. I went to Mexico for a day just recently, if you saw that video. But yeah, I'd like to do more in America, maybe Canada, and then South America too is like the holy grail. I know Ellis from Away Days has just been to Boca v River Plate. Can't pretend I'm not really jealous, but what a great video he put out. But that is literally the ultimate game, I think, for most groundhoppers is the Buenos Aires Derby. But I'd also love to go and see more teams in South America as well. What was your profession before starting YouTube? Did you always want to do YouTube? No, I never always wanted to do YouTube at all. I never ever would have thought that I would be doing this even like 5 years ago. When I first had the thought I could actually do this, I would watch people's videos of like how to start a YouTube channel and stuff, and then it grew in my mind, and then eventually I did it, and here I am today. Yeah, having been to like hundreds of football stadiums. It's some journey actually since I started about 4 years ago now. But yeah, what was your profession before starting YouTube? My profession was marketing, advertising. I worked in offices in London and Sydney. Yeah, that was it. It was okay. It wasn't the most enjoyable job in the world, not like I do now. I absolutely love what I do. Spring out of bed every morning when I know I've got filming to do or editing to do. I absolutely love it. I live for it now, whereas beforehand, yeah, it was all right, but it wasn't something I wanted to do forever, but it was marketing and advertising basically. Next question, how much does it cost to do all the things you do? A lot of money. A lot of money goes into the channel, as you can imagine. Again, mentioned the Mexico trip, flew all the way to Mexico for a day. I think the flight itself was £1,000. And then another couple of £100 on hotels, and then tickets for games, etc. So it does cost a lot. There's certain videos that I know I'm going to make a loss on if I go away or whatever. But hopefully, the way I do it, I usually book trips and then try and convince sponsors that I've got this and this coming up. Sometimes they all come back and say, no, we've not got the budget or whatever. So yeah, some videos can be really cost effective for me to make. I can have a sponsorship and I can get good views on it, for example. That's the ideal scenario, is to have a sponsored video and it does well in views so that you get the payments from YouTube as well. And if I get one of them and it's like Rangers or Celtic or a Scotland game or whatever that's 20 minutes up the road, then it's very cost effective. But yeah, there's certain videos that I've made big losses on, but I hope that you enjoy watching them. I feel like it's okay to lose a bit of money on some videos if most of the videos are actually getting me by in life, because I still obviously have bills to pay, etc. as well. But yeah, costs a lot of money. You just go and, if you want to know how much things cost, go and look at plane tickets, go and look at hotels, diesel going up and down a country. That costs a lot of money, especially now after the last year or two as well. So yeah, there's a lot of costs involved that maybe people don't realise with YouTube as well. So I have to pay a yearly subscription for my editing software. I have to pay for all the music that you hear in my videos that I use for montages. I have to pay a yearly subscription to a website that allows royalty-free music. There's loads more costs as well. Cloud storage for all the videos, hard drives that I keep all my video content on, which is just over there behind me. So things like LED lights, football shirts, anything you can see behind me, props, etc. Yeah, they do start to total up the cost sometimes. Punditry in TV anytime soon, or YouTube is your world and you feel comfortable here? I did actually do 2 little bits of work for Sky Sports last season, where essentially I filmed a shortened down version of one of my vlogs that went on live TV the next day, which was actually really exciting. It was like a sort of pat on the back to me personally, to know that I'd sort of been seen by Sky. They approached me and wanted my work to be on Sky, which was absolutely crazy to think just a few years ago when I started the channel. But no, I think the most important thing for me is that, and this is what I always wanted to do and why I started YouTube, was to be my own boss and to work on my own schedule. And yeah, while I would do certain bits of TV work, if it felt right, like the Sky stuff last season, again, I filmed everything myself and it went on TV, and I edited it myself as well. Actually, I'll show you part of it now.
Also down towards the bottom, Kilmarnock, they hosted Hearts at Rugby Park yesterday, and we can get the full fan experience with social media vlogger Footy Adventures.
Hello and welcome to Rugby Park. My name's Sam North and I am here today to watch Kilmarnock versus Heart of Midlothian in the Scottish Premiership. It is the first round of fixtures since the international break. They have just 1 win between them in their last 10 competitive games combined. Kilmarnock are currently 10th, Hearts are currently 3rd. They both need points for very different reasons. Kilmarnock battling relegation and Hearts are looking to qualify for Europe again. Alan, so we're back in Scottish Premiership action after the international break. How have things been at the club during that time?
Yeah, good. A lot of hard work has gone in over the break and this week, so we're ready to go for this back end of the season now.
Does it feel like one kind of final push now after that break?
Yeah, I think so. I think we understand where we are and what we need to do, and wins are a must now, and we'll be going out for 3 points today.
And out come the players, Hearts led by Lawrence Shankland, as you can see. So it's essentially like a shortened down version of my vlog. I filmed it on the Saturday. I had to edit it and send it to them on Saturday night to go in the show on Sunday, which started at 11 AM. So it was a really quick turnaround, really high pressure, a lot of moving parts and stuff. And I actually had to edit in the real match footage as well, which was something different, which I don't do on my vlogs, obviously. But no, really, really comfortable doing what I do on YouTube. If I get more opportunities that come my way, then yeah, I might take them. I might not, depending on what it is. But the goal for me was always just to be my own boss and to create content that I want to create, and I'm not tied down to anything really. So yeah, absolutely love YouTube for that reason alone. Most difficult round football trip in Scotland, commuting wise. So there's 1 or 2 that I think of when I think of this question. There's obviously some big trips within like the Highland League. The Highland League is obviously just in the Highlands, and the Lowland League as well, and even the West of Scotland leagues. There's some like long away trips for some of the clubs to go to, but I suppose you'd have to look at the lowest national league, which would be League 2. That's the lowest you can go nationally before it splits regionally with the Highland and the Lowland League. And Elgin are in that league, and Peterhead in that league as well. I think they might be in League 2 as well. So Elgin or Peterhead going down to Stranraer. Peterhead to Stranraer is a 5-hour trip, and Elgin is a 5.5-hour trip. So to be a League 2 team and to have to travel a 10-11 hour round trip, that's crazy. And so they'd probably have to stay down there. And obviously teams of that level don't have huge budgets and stuff. So yeah, good question actually. I would say probably the most difficult trip would be Elgin to Stranraer and vice versa, because they're just so far apart. And some of the roads can get a bit treacherous, especially like in the winter and stuff. So yeah, that's got to be the worst one commuting wise. How does it feel to be well known in Scotland by footballers and teams? Kind of mad actually. When you grow up watching football, you hear names, you see people scoring goals against big teams. One that happened recently was obviously Tony Watt at Dundee United. He scored against Barcelona for Celtic. and then he recognised me. Again, we'd spoken a couple of times on Twitter when he was talking about starting a channel. I replied to one of his tweets, then we'd spoke a little bit about YouTube, and then we saw each other at the game, said hello, and then we both went on each other's videos. And so for me to be recognised by somebody who scored against Barcelona for such a big club like Celtic is kind of mad. But even just for like, I still get buzzing when I get like press passes for Lowland League games and Western Scotland League games and stuff. It still really, really excites me. Even when those guys, the non-league players, recognise me, I still get a buzz out of it. But yeah, no, it's got to keep your feet on the ground. I don't want to forget where I came from. Want to stay humble, obviously. But yeah, it's an honour to be known by people and by clubs up and down Scotland, especially when these other people have achieved so much in their life as well. So this next one was a really good question. How do you decide to quit your job and travel full-time before getting sponsors? I get a lot of people ask me how to start a YouTube channel, and I think maybe my little bits of advice here could help with that and kind of working out how you can maybe make it your job eventually if you follow the steps that I took. So how do you decide to quit your job and travel? That's the first part of the question, but it said full-time before getting sponsors. You can quit your job and travel whenever you want if you just knuckle down and save money. Before I actually started YouTube, I wanted to save up to travel to start off my channel, and for 6-9 months, maybe something like that, I cut back so much. Stopped going to the pub, stopped going to parties, stopped eating big lunches at work. Like instead of like going to Subway for lunch at work, I was living in Australia at the time, and spending like $15 on a Subway, I would go to the supermarket and buy like $1 packet of noodles and just have those with the hot water in the office, and just really, really save the money. So you can quit your job and travel whenever you want. And everyone's got a phone, so you can all start a YouTube channel as well if you want. But how to travel full time before getting sponsors? You don't necessarily need sponsors to get started. Again, like I say, you can quit your job. Your job will still be there after you leave, or you can go get a job at another company. You shouldn't be scared to take risks. You should want to go and start and try new things. It's all part of the fun of life, is trying new things, taking risks. If you never take any risks, you'll never get to that next stage in life that you want to be at. And yeah, you can get sponsors fairly early on your channel. If your videos are getting 1,000 views, it's not that hard to get a video to get 1,000 views. If you've got an interesting title, an interesting thumbnail, then you can start charging a little bit of money each time. It doesn't cost you anything to reach out to companies, to email companies, DM companies. But before getting sponsors, you need a certain amount of watch time to get into the YouTube partner program, which is where you start getting paid by YouTube from the little ads that show on your videos. And yeah, you can get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours, and at first you won't make a lot of money at all. I think I was earning like less than probably 50p a day at the start, for at least a year. I think in my first year of being monetized, I must have made like, honestly, less than £100. Maybe it was £100, I'm not sure. I'll check, I'll maybe put it on screen how much I made in my first year in YouTube. Hello, Sam from the future here, and since recording this video, I am now obviously editing it, and I've looked into my first year's analytics, and I hadn't realised that the channel had taken off to a point where I was actually earning money a bit before the year mark. But firstly, what I'm going to show you is what I made in my first about 10 months. So in my first 10 months of the channel, as you can see, I got just shy of 500,000 views, and it made me £184, considering I spent like thousands on camera, laptop, 2 cameras, laptop, editing software, travel as well. Not the greatest of returns. So after that first 10 months, I was a little bit worried. But as you can see, after the 7th, 8th of September 2020, in and around that period, I went to Cafkin Park, the abandoned stadium in Glasgow, and that is where my channel took off to the point where I was earning consistently about 10 to 20 pounds a day, maybe, with the most being about 30 quid. So yeah, within the first year, I made £1,407 off of 800,000, nearly 900,000 views. But yeah, before that, like, video at Cafkin Park, as you can see, look, I'd spent a lot of money, invested a lot of money, and quit my old job to do this, and I only earned £184. So it's not easy to get the channel off the ground, but once you do, you feel like you're flying. But yeah, if you want to start, then maybe the first year you're going to make a loss. That's the same with any business in the world. You're probably going to have to invest in things. I had to invest in a camera, 2 cameras actually, and a laptop, and the editing software, and the copyright-free music, etc., and the travel itself. But I saw it as an investment into a business, into my future, and you could start that as well. And you might only earn however much is on screen. I'm not sure right now. You might only earn a couple of quid in the first year, but let me tell you, when you first have that day where you earn £5 or you earn £10 just off the views from YouTube, non-sponsored, then it really gives you that buzz to, wow, look, I've done this. And you see these small steps. You think, if I made £5, I can make £10. If I made £10, I can make 20. If you make 20, you can make 100 a day. And yeah, you could just get the ball rolling in your mind like that. And who knows, the world can be your oyster. So yeah, don't be scared to quit your job. You obviously have skills to be in your job right now. You might have had to apply for that job already, and you might have been at previous jobs in that same industry. Don't be scared to quit for a few months to try something new. You can always go back to it, I'm sure. So yeah, be brave. Don't worry about getting sponsors or earning any money within that first year. Make sure you know how much, have a budget, stick to that budget, save up, have that budget, stick to it, and then see where you are in a year. That would be my advice. And then final question that we'll do for today. What is your routine for a Saturday 3 p.m. game? My routine starts on a Friday. I usually have to charge all my cameras, obviously. Has happened once or twice, more in the early days, where I would turn up to film somewhere and I had like 10% battery on my cameras, and I usually have a portable charger, and I have chargers with me in my camera bag and like plugs and stuff, so there is usually a way for me to charge things up. It's just annoying, and you don't want to be in that situation. So I always plan on the Friday. Sometimes I don't even know where I'm going on the Friday. I'll decide on the Saturday morning. I'll just check the fixtures and go. More often than not, that is actually the case. People ask me all the time what games you're going to, and I often don't know. I'll check the ground hopping app. I'll see what's in and around my area. I'll see what's interesting. Been doing a lot of bottom tier videos this season. I also want to see a lot of Rangers and Celtic when I'm in Scotland, but I don't just want to do that. I want to do things in between and interesting stories and stuff. So yeah, just trying to pick the games, make sure my cameras are charged, and then I'll obviously drive. I'll be on my own driving, as you'll see in my car a lot of the time, and then I will grab a coffee, I'll grab some breakfast, and then usually have a pie at the game, and then rush home from the game to make sure I start editing. I will sometimes bring my laptop, which is actually in front of me. I will sometimes bring my laptop with me to games, depending on sort of where I am. If I know I'm getting... If it's non-league, you can usually take your backpack with you, fine. If it's at a bigger stadium, then oftentimes not. If I know I've got like a press pass for the game, I've usually got a little desk at the games. So yeah, I'll take my laptop and make sure I'm just editing throughout. But just trying to be efficient with my time, edit when I get a spare moment, and yeah, make sure my stuff's charged and that I'm charged full of caffeine as well. Thank you so much for all the questions. If you have any more questions for me, make sure you follow me on Instagram, footy.adventures, and I'll make sure I do another one of these videos at some point when I feel like it's relevant to go over some more of the questions that maybe you have that are more up to date. It's been a while since I've done a video like this. So yeah, and if you're here because of the title about how much you can earn in YouTube, or how to quit your job and start YouTube or whatever, then just start. Don't be scared. Get out there, do it. Have a little budget set aside, and go for it. And then who knows where you might be in 4 years' time, like I am now speaking to you guys. So thank you so much for all the questions again. I'll leave a couple of videos on screen. The best way that you can help me is to keep watching. This one here is what YouTube thinks you're most likely to click on, and this one here is my most recent video that I've uploaded. So yeah, which one will you click on? Thank you very much, and goodbye.